Welcome to my blog. If you have not yet subscribed, go ahead, do it now. Don't forget to share, comment, and like. This is part 2 of Growth in the Americas. Today we're going to be talking about the new president of the Inter-American Development Bank. What is needed to control a region's population besides media influence or psychological war and weapons? We obtain the complete domain in any part of the world. You need to control the market, and I'm not talking about opening stores, squares, and selling products. What is required is money. The person who has control of money can handle any situation. Once capital is gained, people can bribe institutions, corporations, deputies, and even presidents. Cash can be injected into different industries and manipulate the market at will. Trump's idea began on March 21st, 2018. The ultimate goal is to remove anyone who does not follow capitalist ideologies from, from the United States. On June 16, 2020, the U.S. Treasury Department, through Secretary Steven Mnuchin, announced Mauricio Claver-Carone's candidacy for the IDB presidency. On September 11, 2020, Mauricio Claver-Carone, an American attorney and government official known for supporting a rigid policy against Cuba, he was nominated to represent the Inter-American Development Bank for next 5 years. This bank was always under representative of Latin American countries. The Inter-American Development Bank is an international financial organization based in Washington, D.C., created in 1959 to finance viable economic, social, institutional development projects in the Latin American and Caribbean areas. It is the largest local development financial institution of its kind. Its origin dates back to 1890. Its main objective is to reduce poverty in Latin America and the Caribbean. The bank's ordinary capital amounts to 105 billion US dollars. Knowing this information, it should give you an idea why the U.S. Department of State wants a president who will do its will. Latin America will now be divided. Countries such as Costa Rica, Chile, Argentina, Mexico voted for Luis Alberto Moreno, an Argentine representative since 2005. The IDB is shaped by 48 members. Actually, 49 now because I believe it was last year when China integrated, and it's a country that's willing to borrow money. Latin American traders, and that's what I'm calling them, because they should have voted for a Latino representative. Instead, they supported Trump's candidate. One thing these countries all have in common: all are members of a group that goes by the name of Lima, the Lima Group of Lima, created to destabilize Nicaragua, Cuba, Venezuela. This picture is so clear. Some people still struggle to understand it and can see how capitalism is slaving us all. We're all aware the US has its own money printing machinery. The only reason the US dollar is seen as the global currency since 1944 is that Britain ended in a terrible shape after World War II. A lot of their industrial buildings were damaged. We have to remember that countries can are only allowed or can only print the value amount that can be converted or backed in gold. Let us all remember that the war did not occur in the U.S. territory. It was it was the most developed nation or the nation in the best shape. Once the U.S. had that advantage, it began with the military industrial complex to force nations to accept the global currency. Finally, the U.S. has a representative as president of the Inter-American Development Bank. Nations such as Argentina with President Fernandez, if Argentina wants money, they must overthrow President Fernandez or he will have to obey the policies and political advice coming from NATO. In the case Latin American nations would have to in the case of the rest of the Latin American nations, they would have to borrow money from the IDB, and that would mean the nations who would have to make changes to their constitution for multinationals and international corporations to come in and ransack their natural resources. The reason I'm talking about the Inter American Development Bank is because this is fresh news and has never happened that a representative of a different nation, it's the president. Here is the chronology of the IDB presidents. 1960 to 1970, Felipe Herrera. 1970s to 88, Antonio Ortiz Mena from Mexico. Enrique Iglesias, 1988 to 2005, Uruguay. Luis Alberto Moreno from Colombia. That's the last president. And now we have a foreign a foreign person representing the Latin American region. That's not good news for anyone. Actually, even the European nations are saying that this is wrong. Hmm? So, my friends, the only reason I'm talking about this is also because it proves my point that I'm trying to make about the America grows. This is an excuse or a reason for the U.S. to come in, take over the investments in Latin America, and force nations or governments to do as they want, because now they get to decide who gets to borrow money. And if you're not, and if they're not willing to follow capitalism policies, they won't get the money. My next video, on my next video, I will go more into this. But if you don't believe me, look it up. IDB New President, or all you have to look up is Mauricio Claver-Carone's name, and you can read more about it. Okay, my friends, this is the end of this video. I do hope I gave you this information because it's pretty much the base of what we're going to be talking about. I do hope this video has been useful. If you want to learn more about this, subscribe so that you can get, and don't forget to click on the bell so you get future notifications. Okay, my friends, once again, I do hope you enjoy the rest of the week, and don't forget to help someone because you might be the only one who does. Until next video.